And we're back into business. This time, looking at our fantastic cities, we have Barcelona, which is rich but has a low population. We have Santiago, which has richness as well, but is more populous, has larger markets. And Beijing makes up for the lack of richness with a huge population. And that kind of influences what we can do next. So when we consider what we want to produce, of course, I want to expand my superstores into other cities, even though we might not be able to understand our slogan as is in Spanish, but I don't really care. And of course, if you want to produce something, you would likely prefer to produce it in Beijing. Now, what we can produce is actually quite impressive. If you look at through all these categories, you can see you can produce so many interesting products. And the reason is the three seaports that are bringing in industrial goods, they're bringing in like things like electronic components, steel, glass, plastic, all these very difficult semi-products that are just made available to us. So if we can manage to have about 2 products being produced, I think it'll be easy for us to establish our superstores across the globe. Otherwise, each store will be very independent, having purchased locally, and not all cities have those 3 products to fill up the shelves of our stores. So with that being said, I think it may be interesting to begin looking at what product we want to produce. And some things to be held into mind, we can actually produce things like printers. The computer can make printers, which is kind of in line with our strategy of becoming a tech company, according to our overall master plan. But it will be competing in technology, and local competitors, they can be a problem. So let's take a quick look here into computer products, printers. The 8 million market's not as big as desktop computers, say, for example. And of course, it's like 2-3 million per city, and local competitors, they have high quality. It's pretty high, close to 40. And in this case, it's a high quality product. So it might be a little bit more difficult. I think bed is one product that we can produce in all cities in 11 million markets, a little bit larger. And when you go into the cities, you see the quality 28, 36 is high, but 28 in Beijing. So I think it's a little bit more reasonable. And another product that kind of goes into the same line is our toy industry. It's only 7 million, it's even smaller. But of course, local competitors, they're also not that impressive. So I think this is one way to go. If we think about toys, I think I'm going to start with beds. That's easier, and because Beijing is actually supplying the timber for that, and it's also supplying plastic for the toy. But the toy racing car requires electronic components that comes from, I believe, Santiago. Right here, there it is. So I think the first step is in Beijing to build our factory of beds. Perhaps export it to Barcelona, sorry, to our current store, and then perhaps get some money to build our second store or our second industry. So let's start with that. I do know that bed industries can become super huge. I don't know how huge this one will be. Perhaps we'll just begin with a medium factory. And of course, go to the seaport. So I did not pay much attention to how much that cost. I should have. And this is a one input industry. I'll do it from left to right. Let's go to purchasing. Triple manufacturing. I wonder how many sales units I'll need. Most likely in the beginning. Perhaps you didn't even need those. Let's come in with the timber. Start with 2. Tachyon beds. Yeah, sorry. Let me turn on this info. It's always super useful. Of course, it has to start producing. There it is. Well, since I built it, why not, right? Let's take it off internal, see if someone wants to purchase it as well. Be my guest. Make it super cheap for now. And come into Barcelona, start bringing in this product. Now, for now, we do not have any competition with these reselling, so I think I'll actually take advantage of that, set up a new floor. It's going to be expensive, it's 1 million, but I think it's necessary. And of course, if we do this, we have the opportunity to perhaps connect it into advertising if we feel that's necessary. But there we go. Got beds coming in, 71 in freight. That doubles up our cost, but still not that relevant, as you know that the price is around 300. If you look at the local competitors, they're selling for 200 and at a higher quality. Actually, we're managing a better quality. That's impressive. That's how interesting it is to be applying these analysis before. But we are still lacking brand. They have 35. So perhaps we will need to advertise. Let's hook that up. Rating points. This guy's way higher in rating points and cheaper in cost per impression. CPM. 175,000 in there. And let it roll. Slowly, it'll start bringing in brand. But I guess in the beginning, try to accelerate these sales and get it moving a couple of beds around. But of course, our factory is overproducing, but we are with a new customer. That's good. That'll help us. It's quite a high markup, 3%. Well, that's fine. It'll help us bring this firm into profit and mitigate some of those costs. It's going to be pretty expensive. So we got one product. If you look at Beijing, we have 3 products that we can actually sell. Maybe I don't think I can sell canned corn, but those 2 footwear items, they'll have competition. We have a jewelry and watch store from Compass Point. What other store do we have here? Someone is selling something right here. Ooh, that's a large discount mega store. And of course, they're selling our beds. And they're even bringing items from the other cities, which is interesting. Proves that it is possible. Question is, should I do that now? Well, we're moving some beds. That's good. The item itself, making profit. The firm is still in the profit zone, even though we're advertising. We'll see how that performs in the coming minutes. Okay, and then if you look at our financial actions, it's F11 actually, 9 million. I don't think it's prudent to be bringing in new factories. I think it's a little bit early. I would rather bring in new products. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, which products? I have no idea. Current city, we do not have anything interesting yet. Okay, other cities, let's look at the high ticket items. So eyeshadow is actually $6. Not interesting. We have gold rings, but it has competition from a local competitor. $7 for lipstick and $22 for sport shoes. Maybe this is the way to go. Wild guess. Kick in, speed 3. Looks like we're gonna have to come down a bit. Local competition is a little bit fiercer here. Let's adapt. And let that roll in for a while. Hopefully it'll increase profits and allow us to accelerate our plans. Let's go into speed 4. Analyze our factory for a while. It's moving up products, that's good. We're lucky to have Happy Resource here. They're likely going to compete in the long term, but for now it's good. Now we have a bottleneck with sales, so I will go ahead and double that. Actually, now it's in manufacturing, so let's pump up that training, add up a little bit of cost here. Timber is going up as we're consuming more from the seaport, so we will have to react to that. I do not want you on a cruise sale. And the markup is at 60% now. Less attractive, but hopefully they'll cope with it. If we look at our store, we're still in the profits, still making a bit of cash. That's good, even though we are training. Demand, supply and demand here is fair. We do not have enough supply here, but we are building up a little bit of brand, aren't we? So we're at 32 brand already. This is purely awareness, very little loyalty. But the good thing is that I can reduce advertising spending. And that's good. So let's take a look at our previous floor. Quick rundown through these products. I want to make sure that nothing's too off. Like these pair of jeans, camera, the opposite. Okay, I'm happy with that. And I believe we can contract a higher loan. Some 8 million. We come in and start to produce our toys. So I would also guess that the toy factory is not that large. I'll set it up close to the seaport. Tachyon toys, that sounds pretty nice. And let's see, do we have anything for toy cars? That seems like a very fair model. No need to set that up. Roll in for a while. I'm betting you're gonna need a train as well. But then when we come to Barcelona, of course, our second floor, instead of bringing in sports shoes, which is fine, is it making a profit? It is a little bit, but of course it's under pressure from the seaport dynamic prices. So I'll increase advertising again, even though it'll hit the beds as well. Let me take a quick look at prices of my beds. I can actually increase it a bit. I will control demand. Take advantage of my branding. My bet is this will also require double sales. And here the product is online. Terrible rating for now. Too much. And let the brand build up as well. But now that we have 2 items, we come in, produce a store. Question is, should we do it in Beijing? Should we do it in Santiago? Santiago's a larger market. I think it's actually more valuable. Competitor here from Compact's point. No, it's actually Trio Unison. I see. So I'm going to set up my store. Let's take a look at land value. Seriously, Center's over here, a little far away. Take a look, something reasonably okay-ish. 30s, 40s, 36. I'll take that. Let's start bringing in these products. I'm going to begin with my products. Favoritism, maybe. Tachyon. And start the advertising as well. See, 52, 64, 56. I'm telling you that the newspaper again is the way to go. Set these prices into reasonable ranges. Ooh, look at that cost. It's going to be a little bit more difficult, but we're going to have branding eventually. I won't go that aggressive. I'll quickly set up a second floor and start purchasing some local products. From all suppliers with the current city. We'll bring in lipstick. Bring in gold rings. It seems like our competitor chose to make his gold rings an internal sale. Let's set up these prices, make them a little more competitive. They're selling it for 11. Oof. That doesn't seem that attractive. We'll all match those local competitors. And as for gold ring, we actually have their own private product. It's going to be a very hard market, but we can compete in price and make up for it. I'll be in the middle. I think that's good enough. Double up these sales. And I'll purchase something else, some other city. I'll actually avoid purchasing from them. Let's see, we have the backpack of cameras. I like the camera cost. Who has competition, but a much lower quality. But sure, let's do it. Take a look here. Competitors at 49. We are currently at 58. We can increase this a little. Let Trio match us up. Everybody will make more money. Everybody will be happier. And this firm is not yet in the profit range. I think it's worth investing in trading. Tachyon Superstore. Santiago. This is actually Spanish as well. It's good. So let's go Hipermercado Tachyon Chile. And of course, we need to rename this guy as well. Hipermercado Tachyon España. Of course, there's a tilde there, but we do what we can do. Our toys are going down. Why is that? Specific reason. Probably competitors lowering their price. I think we can lower here our advertising again. We're at 22 brand. That seems okay-ish. And we can increase the price. Make sure that those competitors don't stay too far. And as for our bets, 57. There. I think that's better. Now at this level, we can start producing a superstore in China. Where are we going to make this one? 42. It's going to cost us 8 million. Perhaps just start a little bit more humble. 39. Or we can just, take a couple million here in loans and then go with that 69, 12 million. Sure. And let's begin selling our products, of course. Tachyon. Sales of sales. Now this one will have an advantage of being local. But we have a much better rating point here with the newspapers again. Tachyon Superstore, because English. Let's connect these, hoping for good reception. Gotta reduce prices, especially because Happy Resource is purchasing from us. We have a price agreement. Just let them match that up comfortably without losing too much money. Oops. Maybe that 20. And eventually we'll get those advertising rates up and come in with the second store. Purchase. What are we purchasing? All suppliers. Let's start with the current city. Got some interesting options. Start with eyeshadow. Let's go in sport shoes. I know it's an interesting market. And then let's go with sandals. So we are the first ones selling these Seaport eyeshadow products. The boring process of pricing. I apologize. Let's see. Sport shoes, 52.21. Almost. And sandals. Here we have some competition. We're not going to survive at that price. A local that's 69 rating. That's pretty good. Flip-flops, right? Some people are just good at it. Put up those sales, double it up. Give it some more throughput. Have some training. Let's take a look at Santiago. Santiago's in the profit. That's good. Even training. And of course, as we advertise, let's check out our beds. Improving slowly. But this cost is hard to make a profit on. As for the toy racing, 40-46, not there yet, but it's growing. And as for the first story, are we making money on these products? We're competitive. Here we can be a little bit, oops, not actually quite comfortable. Get into the camera. I like being at least one above local competitors. That seems to be okay-ish. And now that we have that going, we have our 3 stores. I think we can start considering our R&D facilities. Hopefully in Beijing, produce cheaper technology. So let's go ahead and set those up. I believe this has a nice row that we can exploit. We don't want to be too far from our industry, so I guess staying on the other side of the river might be okay. Let's begin our process of R&D. So we're talking about beds. Let's go for quick gains. I guess I'll duplicate you. Duplicate. And with you, we'll produce our toy racing car. So quick gain. And this will leak some of our profitability, but hopefully we'll make up for it. So I'm happy with that. And so let's take a quick peek at what we have in terms of corporation. So looking at our corporate details, we're actually #1 in profit. That's quite surprising given the ease to competitors that I've given and the number of products that they can actually start producing from the seaports immediately. And revenue, I mean cash we're very low, but revenue we're not on the top. As for stocks, not much to mention. See business relations, we have a good relationship with Happy Resources, just purchasing our beds. That's interesting. And if you look at our details, of course we want to take a quick look at our products. See the ones that are giving us the greatest profit. Bed and toy racing car, not surprising. Firms, the retail stores are also giving us a good profit. R&D center will begin to be a sink. As for the graphs, take a quick look at the 30-year charts. Order of magnitude, so revenues at 68, expenses 57, the operating profit up 13. Net profit's a little bit lower, we have debt, and we have a good net worth at 35 million. As for graphs number 2, land resources are also increasing, debt of course, and salary expenses as well, write-offs, more advertising. Yes, that's interesting. So taking a quick look at advertising, we're investing in all 3 cities. Brand is mostly in Barcelona, but we're not spending that much. We could, of course, accelerate our advertising here in the other 2 cities. But yeah, that's good to know that we're constructing them slowly but surely. As for dominance, first in retail, not surprising, and second in manufacturing. I would also expect to be first here. Second here, first here actually, but that's good. And of course, our 2 businesses were pretty much unique. As for our balance sheet, this is what it looks like. We have retained earnings lifetime of 11 million, no, that's total 3 years. It's 43 million in retained earnings, 0 dividends paid, and income statement for the last year, we're making operating profit of 10 million, lifetime of 43, so that's a good proportion in the last year. Net profit's at 11. I'm happy with that. So that's it for me. And just before we go, a quick word from our sponsor. You know where this is going. Take a look and I'll see you later.
Hipermercado Tachyon.